I often get the question, why do debits have to go first? Does it matter what order I put everything in? As long as my debits equal my credits, who cares what order I put everything in the journal entry? And I would say, you know what? It really doesn't matter. Because nowadays, computers do it, right? So you put a transaction in the computer. The computer doesn't actually care whether the debits and credits are first. The computer only cares that the debits equal the credits and which accounts are associated with it. So it really doesn't matter in the long run whether the debits or the credits go first. However, historically speaking, we always put the debits first, and therefore in all of the homework that you're doing, you have to put the debits first. Otherwise, the homework is going to be marked wrong. Now, why do debits go first? So let's just put a transaction up here. The owner puts $10,000 into the business. So we get cash of $10,000 and credit the capital account $10,000. Now remember, 400 years ago when we were doing accounting, we're basically doing this exact same thing. We were actually writing things in books. So there were no computers. When we were doing journal entries and they were being put in journals, the journals were actually books with pages in them. And a journal entry is essentially a sentence in an accounting language. So this tells us one transaction. Let's say we have another transaction. So this was, let's say we went and bought supplies. Now, let's say I'm like, okay, I don't care whether debits or credits go first. Let's do my credit first. Accounts payable, $1,500. Then I'll put my debit, supplies, $1,500. Now, back when we were actually reading things out of journals, now a computer would easily be able to tell you this is one transaction, this is another transaction. Computer said, yeah. We'll get a printout that says, yep, that's one transaction, that's another one. Back when we were actually writing books, we had to somehow distinguish between the transactions. And we say, okay, this is where one transaction ends, this is where the next one begins. And how we did that was we put a debit first. So the debits indicated a new transaction. So whenever we ran into a debit, we're like, okay, that's the next transaction. So we can easily distinguish reading down the page, hey, here's one transaction. Keep going. Oh, all right. And then we list all of our credits. And then the next debit after some credits, that must be the beginning of the next transaction. So think of it like a period in a sentence. In grammar, if we're speaking or writing, how do we begin a new sentence? We put a period. And that's how we distinguish where the next sentence begins. In accounting, how do we distinguish where the next sentence or the next transaction begins? We write the debit. So we have one or more debits and then one or more credits. And then when we see the next debit, that's the next transaction. So that is the reason why we put debits first. It's a historical reason, and it really doesn't matter with computers anymore. If you see a printout from a computer on a transaction, depending on which system you're using, sometimes they'll just mix it all up and they don't care what order it goes in. But the historical reasoning behind this, you need to know you need to put debits first, especially for your homework, because otherwise it will be marked wrong.